Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Today we're going to talk about a very important concept in phonology, which is syllable. We're going first to see what do we mean by a syllable. Then we're going to see what are the conditions that must be there in order to name or in order to call, for example, a unit of sounds, a syllable. Then we are going to see its types, okay, which means the types of a syllable. Syllable is defined in literature as a unit of sound that words consist of, which means any words there must be, let's say, a syllable or maybe more syllables. Also, syllable is defined as the basic building block of spoken language. So let's see some conditions to name or to call, for example, that a certain syllable is a syllable. The first condition is that a syllable must contain a vowel. Okay, that's why we can say that syllables usually contain vowels. Why did I say usually? Because there are some exceptions that sometimes you will find only syllabic consonants. Sometimes you will see that some consonants are plus syllabic, okay? But it happens in specific environments, okay? For example, whenever we will see exactly the consonants which they occur at the end of a word and they are preceded by a weak vowel, which is shva, okay? We delete the shva and the consonant becomes a plus syllabic consonant, okay? So what are the consonants which may play the role of the nucleus of syllable? We have actually four. We have l, n, m, and r. But there must be, let's say, a weak shva or a weak, let's say, vowel before them, okay? And the weak vowel here is the shva, okay? So we delete the shva. So we can say about syllabic consonants that, let's say, syllabic consonants replace weak vowels, okay? For example, in the word, for example, prison, here we have a disyllabic word, which means it contains two syllables, okay? We have pri and we have zin, okay? We have z, then we have shva, then we have n. So we delete the shva and here n becomes a plus syllabic consonant. So we say prison. So pri is the first syllable and the second syllable is zin, okay? Even though, for example, if you write it, for example, phonetically, you're not going to notice, for example, that there is a shva there, okay? But it is deleted and let's say the n replaces it and it has become the nucleus of syllable. Also, one very important thing is that the number of syllables in a word is determined by the number of vowels, okay? And when we say that exactly the number of syllables is determined by the number of vowels, here we are talking, let's say, phonetically speaking, okay? Which means the vowels that we pronounce, okay? Because sometimes orthographically there are some vowels which are there written, for example, in orthography, but when it comes to speaking, they are not there, okay? So I'm not going to depend on them in order to count the number of syllables, okay? We're just going to bank on, for example, or to count the vowels that we pronounce, okay? For example, the word pronounce. The word pronounce, for example, it has four vowels. It actually has two syllables. We have nouns, okay? So the vowel at the end is not pronounced, hence it is not counted. So pronounce, okay? So we have the first syllable and nouns is the second syllable. So now let's move to, let's say, how do we name or how do we call the words according to the number of syllables they consist of, okay? For example, words which contain one syllable are called monosyllabic words. Monosyllabic words. What do you mean by monosyllabic words? A monosyllabic word is a word which contains only one syllable, okay? For example, the modal can, or the verb, for example, caught, or the noun cat, for example. Here we have only one syllable, hence we call them monosyllabic words. The second type, we call it disyllabic words. Disyllabic words. Disyllabic words contain two syllables. Okay? For example, the word apple. apple. Here the first syllable is a and the second is pill. Pill. Here we can see the, let's say, the plus syllabic consonant, which is le. Pill. Apple. Okay, I forgot to tell you at the beginning of this episode that a vowel can be a syllable, which means one vowel can create a syllable. Like in this, for example, context, or in this example here, apple. Apple. Just a is, let's say, a syllable. Then pill is another syllable, which means we call this word a disyllabic word. So I will repeat. A disyllabic word is a word which contains two syllables. Okay, let's move on to the what we call trisyllabic words. Trisyllabic words, words which contain three syllables. Okay, so the words which contain three syllables are called trisyllabic words. Okay, for example, cinema. Cinema is a trisyllabic word. Si-ni-ma. It contains three syllables. For example, another word which is banana. Banana. So banana also is called a trisyllabic word, which means it contains three syllables. The last type concerning exactly calling words according to the number of syllables they consist of is what we call polysyllabic words. Polysyllabic words simply refer to the words which contain more than three syllables. Okay, more than three syllables. For example, ability. Ability contains four syllables. So ability is a polysyllabic word. For example, catastrophe is a polysyllabic word, okay, which means it contains more than three syllables, okay? And catastrophe actually contains four syllables. We have ke, we have ta, we have str, and we have fi. Catastrophe, okay? So let's sum up. A syllable is a unit of sound that words consist of, okay? And syllables usually consist of vowels, okay? Which means the number of vowels which determines the number of syllables in a word, okay? But when we say the number of vowels, it is when it comes to pronunciation, okay? It's not the number of vowels, okay? But we should pronounce them, okay? Or we should write them phonetically using, for example, IPE symbols in order to see the vowels which are articulated. And as I told you, some consonants, which may be the nucleus of a syllable, when they are preceded by a weak vowel at the end of a word. Okay, so we delete the weak vowel and the consonant becomes, let's say, plus syllabic. For example, prison, apple, poison, little, and many other examples. Okay, we come to the end of this video. I hope that this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so that you are going to get new notifications, and good luck.